Alright, guys. Let's talk some stream advice. I'm going to go out onto a limb here and assume that if you're watching this video, you were thinking of taking your stream to, and I quote, the next level. And I'm assuming you're looking for some insight on how to grow your viewership numbers. And let me just start by saying, when it comes to live streaming, the uncomfortable truth is you can do everything perfectly correctly. You can 1, 2, 3, dot the T's, cross the I's, whatever. You can do it all right and still not see any progress on your channel. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say that just to get out of the way, right? Just right off the bat. There are some things with live streaming you simply have no control over. You have no tangible way to control those things, and so you should not let those things get you down. This is something that happens a lot with new streamers. They start streaming and their viewership numbers, they just assume they're going to go live and people will slowly work their way into their chat and accumulate, but it doesn't really work like that. And I'm just saying that to just right off the bat, don't get discouraged whenever some things that are out of your control, you can't control them, because that's how that works. With that being said, though, I would like to get into my first piece of advice for you guys if you are new to streaming is turn your viewer count off. It does no good to see that there is nobody in your stream whenever you first start streaming. It is incredibly discouraging. There is really no benefit to knowing how many people are in your stream. A lot of times with new streamers, they'll feel like their content isn't any good because there's nobody there watching it live, whenever that doesn't really make any sense if you think about it. Your content is defined by what you are putting on tape, not how many people are there when you watch it. It's a sports saying, like, all that matters is what you put on tape. And it's a metaphor meaning that, like, you can be, I'm trying to think of a good one here. You can get everything wrong. Like, you can get everything wrong. Your stream title can be wrong. Your category could be wrong. You're not even playing the game it says you're playing. Maybe it says you're just chatting and you're playing, like, a throwback God of War 3 game. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing Gears of War or something. It says you're doing something else. Like, you can get it all wrong, but if what you're putting on tape is good, it doesn't really matter, and it'll work itself out, if that makes sense. That was probably not the best way to make that point, but what I was trying to say is just turn your viewership numbers off. Like, you don't need to see how many people you have live whenever you are there. Don't focus on that. Those things come and go. Like, your viewership numbers will go up and they'll go down month to month, regardless of who you are or what size of a channel you are. Like, your numbers aren't going to consistently be the exact same thing every single time. Like, you can't focus or attempt to do that because it's not possible. But what you can focus on is putting the best tape out there that you can. Like, do everything you can in your power to help yourself out, because live streaming is not easy and you shouldn't focus on things that are out of your control. And so that's my number one tip to new streamers. Turn your viewer count off and focus on your tape. There's a basketball player, he's in the Hall of Fame now. His name was Tracy McGrady. Legendarily, didn't light the world up at practice. Like, that was his reputation. It was like, T-Mac doesn't practice super hard. But in a game, whenever there was fans in the seats and it was time to go, T-Mac was incredible. He's an incredible player. He put out insane tape. He left only good tape. I mean, maybe not only good tape. You don't really leave only good tape. But the point is, you should be focusing on what you are putting on video and not how many people are watching you put it on video. If your video's good, people will watch it. The second bit of advice I would give to new streamers is chat engagement is everything. It is the key to unlocking your growth as a streamer, as a channel. And you don't have to have a fancy setup to be engaging. Like a lot of people, I try to have nice equipment. I have a nice gaming chair. I have a 2-screen setup here. I got lights. I have my PS5 hooked up to my Elgato that goes to my gaming PC. I got a microphone here. I have a boom arm. I have like a desk situation that I got set up, and blah 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 blah, dude. Nobody cares at all. So many people that I know who want to get into live streaming think they need all of these cool gadgets and gizmos and fancy hoobada-doobadas. And the reality is they don't make that much of a difference to your short-term success or your long-term success, really, I guess, at first. Don't focus on getting the fanciest equipment at first, because that's not what matters. The reason people are going to watch your live stream is going to be because of you. You are going to be the secret ingredient to your live stream. I started out streaming from just my PS4 in my living room with my couch in the background, and it was weird, you know what I mean? Like, it was a weird stream, but I slowly had some people, like, I started out at the same place everybody starts out with. Zero. Rock bottom. I knew nothing about live streaming, and I just went live. I was like, I watch people, let's go live, here we go. And here I am. Anyway, so you just go live at first, and the first time you go live, it's going to be extremely similar to the first time everybody else ever went live. You start out the same place as everybody. You're going to be the one that makes your Twitch stream successful, not the equipment. There's always going to be someone with cooler neon lights in the background, with a more expensive gaming PC, with a higher definition, who has 33,000 bitrate, even though the Twitch cap is like 8,000. I don't even know this stuff still. But the point is, you don't need some fancy equipment to be engaging. You just need to be engaging. You need to say hello to people when they say hello back to you in the chat. Chat engagement trumps everything else when it comes to live streaming. And when I say chat engagement, I don't want you to overthink this at all. Actually, underthink it. The less you think about it, the better. Just talk to this person like they're a normal person. Like you already know them. Like you don't need to be deep. You don't need to be profound with your chat engagement. You just want these people to feel comfortable hanging out with you. So I'll give you an example of it. I'll just leave an example right here. So say we are live streaming right now. Just use your imagination here for a second, okay? We are live streaming. We just went live, and someone pops up in our chat that's never been here before. Don't recognize the username. Maybe a friend sent them over. Maybe they just randomly saw you scrolling through whatever category you're in, and they clicked on your username for whatever reason. How you're going to engage with that person in the chat is going to determine on if that person returns back to your channel the next time they see you live. So if someone says hello, you've never seen their name in the chat before, maybe just be like, hey, how's it going? Appreciate you being here. Are you at work? You working from home? COVID, right? It's crazy. How's the family? Any pets? I have a cat. His name's Samurai. He's the GOAT. Love him with all my heart. He's my best friend. I'm out here just capping people on some Battlefield 4. I hope you're having a good day too, man. I'm just vibing. Oh, you are at work? How's your boss, man? My boss is the worst. I gotta go to work later. I'm dreading it already. But yeah, there's just like an example. Like just talk to people like they're people, and maybe they'll end up being your friends. You should think of whenever people follow your channel, you shouldn't think of it like you got another follower. You should think of it like you just got another friend. Like you should be like, oh, cool, that person might stop by, and you know what I mean? Like we can talk about their work life, or we can talk about their pet, or you know what I mean? Like you should be not necessarily like keeping a profile on people, but like you should try to be like getting to know the people that are taking their time to get to know you. Another massive tip of advice I would give you is to always be as consistent as possible to your streaming schedule as you can be, and get yourself a streaming schedule. I would just say to get a stream schedule that you can stick to and stick to it. Even if you only have the time to stream 1 or 2 times a week, if you can schedule it out and post it somewhere and tell people, like if you give people a time and location, there'll be people that show up if you do it consistently. Consistency is the biggest part of your stream schedule, not necessarily when or how often you are going live. If you can't stream 5 times a week, that's fine. A lot of people don't have time to stream 5 times a week. Just don't schedule yourself 5 streams a week, and you'll be okay. As long as you are making it to all of the streams that you are scheduling out, you are okay. But with that being said, do remember that the only thing in life that makes something valuable is scarcity, and you are creating your own supply and demand when it comes to how often you are live. So you don't want it to be one of those things where you're live 7 days a week for 9 hours a day, because then there's no urgency to see your stream at first. Like, you should be trying to give people like reasons to show up to your streams. Try to think of when you're going live as an event. They don't schedule Avengers movies to come out every single week of the year, because at a certain point they would be getting in their own way. Like, you don't want to be the person that's live every single time somebody loads up Twitch. That shouldn't be your objective. You want people to see you live on Twitch and think, "Oh, what? Ezra's live? Let's hop in there." You know what I mean? We don't get to chat it up with Ezra every day. That way, when you are live, they'll just have that much more of a reason to click on your name, because they don't get to click on your name as often as they would some other people maybe. You have to find the right balance of when to be live and when to be not live. A lot of streamers, when they first start streaming, stream way too often, and they don't understand why their channel doesn't get more progress. But the truth is, you're probably streaming way too much at first, and you should cut it back. I think this is something that all streamers struggle with at first, is just finding that right balance. But I think basically everybody, when they first start streaming, is streaming way too much. So you're definitely not alone in that boat. I know I do that sometimes, still to this day. If you can set up a schedule for when you're going to be live, consistently show up on time, ignore the viewership numbers, and focus on what you're putting on tape, and engage with any and everyone that shows up in your chat, then after some time, you are going to see your viewership numbers increase. And remember, going live is a lot like watering a plant. You definitely want to water your plants, but it's just as bad for your plants to give them too much water as it is to not give them any water. So you don't want to be overwatering your plant. You don't want to be live too often. I hope that I offered you some level of insight if you are new to streaming, or if you're thinking about getting into streaming, or if you are a long-time streamer and just interested on getting a new perspective on things. I appreciate you for watching the video. Comment letting me know what type of videos you would like to see in the future, streamer tips, or if you want OBS advice or things of that nature. Just let me know down in the comment section below. I hope you guys all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Have a good one. Peace.